Hey, thanks for tuning in. Let's get to it, straight into it. Irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, painful, annoying, not pleasant feeling, not great to have, but easy to fix with urine therapy. Yay! What? That's right. So, if you haven't come across my blogs before, I do a lot of filming on urine therapy on the subject. So, I made a feature documentary called Urinate, which is about using urine as a curative aspect for natural healing. So, this method of urine therapy has been around forever. Our ancestors used it. It's written in scriptures from Egyptian papyruses and methods, including the Dharma Tantra, as recipes, even though that's sort of full of sort of folklore and spells and all those sort of things. But here's the deal. Irritable bowel syndrome usually is very annoying, painful, not a great feeling in the gut. But we have to realize that our stomach, also dubbed the second brain, is a living organ and it is affected by emotions. Now, irritable bowel syndrome usually is caused by trauma or stress. And and that's quite simple because we are human beings, we feel things, and we feel that in our gut. And have that feeling, that gut feeling, or if you can't stomach something, or there's a multitude of sayings, if a coward can't stomach something, or, I feel it in my waters, for instance. The brain is, what we think is the controller, but actually our gut, which is our second brain, controls our brain. It influences because it has a direct link. So there's neurons that are in the stomach that are the same neurons found in the brain. And scientists have already discovered by utilizing this knowledge, by testing people's gut neurons to treat things like Parkinson's or understand a bit more about the brain, because it's too risky to enter into the brain and get neurons from there. So what happens in our gut can influence how we do things. It can change the way we feel. It can affect our emotions, and it's also, it's about the doshas. And dosha means when the three doshas, vata, pitta, and kalpa, when they're out of sync, it's called the dosha. So that means basically your vata works on movement. So what's going on in and around your body, inside. The pitta works on digestion. So, emotional stress or emotional trauma or emotional things can affect what's in our stomach. And kalpa, which is also the other trilogy to it. Or you could put it this way: mind, body, and spirit, for instance. So I would start off with body. So if you nourish your body and you're kind to your body, the neurons in the stomach or in the gut are going to influence the mind. So body first, then mind. And if your mind's uplifted by the wonderful feeling of feeling great, spirit will fly. So it depends which way you look at it. But let's get into urine therapy for treating IBS. Urine therapy works fantastic for gut health. And the reason that is urine is sterile. It's a clean product. And most people who do urine therapy, first thing they sort of discover is one of the side effects is diarrhea. And that's because it's just flushing out the gut. It's cleaning out the gut. It's throwing out all that bad bacteria in there. So our stomach holds so much bacteria, but we want good bacteria in there. And that helps clean out what's going on in our stomach. This helps with digestion. So later on when we eat, we're going to digest the food better. And by flushing, you're flushing out all the toxins, you're flushing out all the negative energy, you're flushing out a whole host of things. Now, urine therapy, if you're not familiar, drinking might sound gross, but there is also another treatment for IBS, and that's douching, so anal douching, so pushing it up the other way. So technically, the trick is to insert, a small amount of urine. Don't have to fill it yourself up, until you bloat. you just want to have enough in there to start with so it can seep through the intestinal walls. So the lower intestinal walls, it wants to go through that. It will clean the lower part. You might need to stay close to a bathroom because you will vacate pretty quickly, and it will flush and clean out that area. So for IBS, I would always recommend probably both ends, drinking and douching combined, and you will find this will help. Now, urine contains things that help quieten and calm the body, which creates balance, which is what you want with the doshas. You want a balance. They all want to be, the Vita, Petra, and Kapha want to be balanced. Your body is designed to be balanced. It's supposed to regulate its natural body heat. It's supposed to regulate everything. It's the things that we eat that we throw out. So, for instance, if you're eating spicy foods and throwing out the pitta of the gut, you're going to throw yourself out of balance. And when you throw yourself out of balance, you're open to disease, because in an imbalanced body, where all things go crazy. Now, your urine also contains an antidote. So what's in your urine, or what's wrong in your body, is in your urine. And don't forget, your urine is just your blood filtration system. So it's an excess of what is in your blood filtered through the kidneys. But it contains so much stuff, like over 3,000 ingredients. And you got to think of serotonin, melatonin, all these things that help reduce, lower stress, and calm. So once your gut gets healthier and you'll feel the energy change, your spirit will lift because you'll feel happier. You won't feel uncomfortable. You'll feel free. And thus, that's the beauty of this therapy, that it lifts the senses, but not to overload the senses. Like when we do drugs and taking pills and doing all that, great. That's one way of trying to deal with treating ourselves. But the problem with drugs, over a long period of time, you build up a toxicity. I'm not against all medications, but I'm not sort of anti-vax or anything. But the issue is, it's only one way of treating the body. The Western medicine has gone through the chemical aspect, using poisons to create a healing crisis, through using poisons to create a reaction, whereas you can do the natural process. It doesn't cost you anything. You have urine on tap 24/7. It works very well. About a glass. I would start off with a glass. If you're worried about the flavor, change your diet beforehand. Make it more flavoursome. So the more cleaner you eat, the better it is, and the better it is for your gut anyway. So try and stick to a more cleaner, less spicy, less hot foods, things like chili, things like ginger, things that can throw the pitta out that aren't good for you. So if you want to Google more about the doshas, there's plenty of information out there, and clean that palate. And then when you do your drinking of urine, most people say it tastes like a little bit like salty water, or it can even taste as sweet as coconut oil or water, sorry. So, you have that nice fragrant flavor, because your diet will dictate what that flavor will be. But the cleaner you are, the better it will be for you, and the IBS will disappear within usually a few days. So most people have the diarrhea for about 3 or 4 days. It passes. Make sure you drink plenty of fluids, keep up your hydration, and just keep flushing it all out. And then give your stomach time to go back to balance. So that means, okay, great, you've flushed it out, you've cleaned out your insides, you're feeling lighter, your spirit has lifted, but don't start throwing hamburgers or wrong foods back into the body. Just be kind to the body. Always be kind to the body. So if you find the reaction of urine therapy too intense to start with, just pull back. Be kind to the body. Always be kind to yourself. You don't have to go hardcore. Most people go, I'm having a major reaction, the detox and the headaches and everything else. What do I do? Do I keep it up? You can just go slow. You don't have to bombard your body with too much. You don't have to oversensitize your body far too much. I know we're all in a rush to heal. One magic pill does it in 3 days or whatever. But with natural therapies, it can take a little while because it works on its natural process. The body is sorting out what it needs to do in its most natural way possible. And sometimes that can work really fast and sometimes it doesn't. We all have different levels of how we deal with the side effects or how rampant the diarrhea is or how fast it works. So give that a go. So if anyone's got irritable bowel syndrome and you are open-minded to urine therapy, feel free to blog your experiences, join the community, subscribe to the page. I've got a lot of information out there about urine therapy. So if you want to know more, open mind, look into it, and we'll get you free and feeling fabulous before you know it. Right, thanks for tuning in.